See, we talk to ourselves at the rate of about 200 words a minute. You know, we're going blah, 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 inside our heads. And usually we're talking about ourselves to ourselves. And would you ever say the things you say to yourself about yourself to other people? I don't think so. I don't think you'd be looking at someone else going, "You moron! You moron! I cannot believe you did that." But that's what you say to yourself. And have you ever stopped to think about the tapes going on in your head and how much they put you down? It's, you know, if you're coming to stand in front of a group, "Oh, is everything all right? I know I'm going to make a mess of this. I just know I'm going to make a mess of this. I'm going to forget what I was going to say. Oh my God." And then you start sweating and then you do look terrible. And so, you know, and you come out and you've got beads of perspiration across here because you've just worked yourself into a frenzy by going, and all you could have said was, "This'll be great. This will be great." Change it from here to your heart. Get into the peace and wisdom in your heart. See, what about this? How many go, "I'm so fat. I'm so fat. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Fat, 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 fat. You just, you're going to eat that donut, go straight to your thighs." You know, or straight to your stomach. Why do we do this to ourselves? Because we are programming that message in. See, when it comes to talking to yourself, our unconscious minds, it's a very sophisticated painting, unlike Holman Hunt. See, our unconscious and conscious minds are like a ship. And in the engine room, you've got the engine room person. That equates to the unconscious mind or the subconscious mind. And up on the bridge, you've got the captain. Now, the captain is the conscious mind. So when the captain says something on a ship, you know, it's like, "Go 4 degrees starboard." And the engine room person is below sea level. They can't see anything, so they have to go on what the captain says. So the engine room person goes, "Oh, okay then." And they go 4 degrees starboard. Now, he doesn't or she doesn't know if they're heading for solid land, a truck, ice, what do you call those things? Iceberg. It doesn't know because they just got told to do this. Now, your minds are exactly the same. If you are saying things like, "Oh, that donut will go straight to my hips," the subconscious mind goes, "Okay then." And you will eat the donut and it will go to your hips. And then, here's the other one. Like, how many of you say, "I never remember names"? What do you realize? Up here it's going, "I never remember names." Engine room person, subconscious mind goes, "Okay then." And the next time you're in a situation where you've met somebody new, you're going to say, "Well, it was great to meet you." And the name is about to come out of your mouth, and your subconscious mind goes, "Wait, we never remember names," and sucks it off the end of your tongue. This is what's going to happen to you if you consistently say, "I never remember names." Like, how many of you are lucky getting car space? What do you call those things? We call them car parks in Australia. What do you call it? Parking space, okay. How many of you are lucky with parking spaces? See, look, like a third of the room. How many never get car spaces? That would be 25. How many don't even think about it? They just drive and crash into whatever's there. Well, you know, I never thought about this until I was about, 23 or 4 or 5. And I was going out with this guy called Anton, whom I'll introduce you to later on. And Anton, wherever we would go, he would find a car space. Like it'd be right smack in front of where we were going. Me, I would leave 20 minutes early because I think, "Oh, well, I may not be able to find a place and I have to walk, and so I better get there early because, you know, I usually don't find them anyway." Well, it used to drive me nuts until one day I realized I was programming that in. Everywhere I went, I go, "Oh, I'll never find a car park here. Oh, I'll never find a car park close to..." So I was never looking. And then I thought, wait a minute. Yes, I am lucky with car parking, with car spaces. Yes, I am. And I had to convince myself a bit in the beginning. But you know what I noticed? There was no kind of real magical difference. It's just that because I started thinking differently, I felt differently. And then when I was driving, I would look for the car space. And I found it. Sometimes I had to wait 20 minutes, but you know, I found it. So I want you to say to your new best friend in a minute, I'll give you time to think about it, the negative phrase that you use on yourself the most often, because it's garbage. Now, because we're looking through our hearts, not our eyes, when your new best friend says to you, "Well, the thing that I normally say about myself is that I'm too fat. Now you, talking to them, looking through your heart, is going to say, no, you're not. And then I want you to notice what happens between you. Now, don't talk forever, but just kind of notice, because someone's going to say, no, you're not, and your internal voice is going to go, yes, I am. And you would have this fight going, no, you're not, yes, I am, no, you're not, yes, I am. And you end up convincing yourself, yes, I am huge. I'm not just fat, I'm enormous. I'm a giant. It's a wonder this seat will stay sitting with me in it. You end up convincing yourself about this. So let's do this little exercise. One, do it, and then the other, okay? So think of the phrase you say to yourself that's negative most of the time. Go. 1, 2, 3. Turn to the person next to you. What's the phrase? Now, answer back, looking through your heart. Is he doing it? You look grumpy. Okay. That was long enough. You didn't have to say much. Come on back. Quick! We haven't got much time. Come on back. Excellent. Now we have another exercise. Come on back. If you don't listen, you won't hear the exercise. Here's the exercise. You're going to do the same thing again. On the count of 3, you're going to turn to your new best friend. You are going to repeat either the same or another negative phrase, if you have hundreds from which to choose. And as you say that negative phrase, when you finish, your new best friend, looking through their heart, is going to look at you and say, if you say so. And I want you to notice what happens. Because as soon as, if you go, oh, I'm so fat, and someone looks at you and goes, if you say so, inside, the engine room person sort of goes, well, I'm not that fat. It is a completely different set of circumstances. We're having fun with it, but this is so powerful. If you ever have somebody who is always saying negative things about themselves out of their mouths, don't try to make them feel better, because if you go, oh no, you're not really like that, you think you're being kind, but inside they're just justifying why they said it and becoming more and more and more. But if you look at them and go, if you say so, they go, they have nowhere to go. So, okay, on the count of 3, you're going to say that, and then you're going to say, if you say so. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. See? It's different, isn't it? Wow, that worked. You went completely red.